Have you guys ever wanted a video editing tips? Well, I'm going to give you the top 10 videos editing tips, and we are starting right now. So tip number 1, you guys, multiple takes. So basically, when I personally do all this on my vlog channel, I take a lot of multiple shots. So for example, basically I have this shot, you guys. Then I take away from this shot, and then I do a quick one, like of feed captions or anything. So take lots of shots when you're out and about. Personally, I love multiple shots. So one could be this angle, could be this angle. Multiple shots are the key factor when it comes to editing. So tip number 2 is back up your footage, you guys, on a desktop computer, laptop, you name it. Because I've heard a lot of YouTubers lose their SD card or camera. They lose a camera on a cart. There's so many possible ways, but just back up on a computer. Doesn't take that much time. Tip number 3, you guys. Make sure you have an editing space, you guys. Mine is right here where I do all the filming and the editing. And if you guys want to have calm music, beyond me, put music when you're in this calm space. Like, make sure it's nice and quiet, make sure it's nice and peaceful. But if you're struggling, put a little bit of music in the background. It just makes it more quiet and smooth, and so you can hear it. So that's another tip. Another tip I have for you guys is organize your stuff into files. And if you have lots of files, so basically organize them. So when you're doing roleplay, for example, you want to have different files. So for example, when I'm recording my end, I want this file there or this file. And so you guys can see what you need and them stuff. So it makes it a lot easier for you guys. So you guys can just get all the shots you need and put it in an organized file. I have all my files on one section, so it's easier. And then after that, it's good to go. Now comes the beginning of editing your videos, you guys. So simple. I'll teach you guys so much time. Tip number 5 is watch really carefully for your video, you guys. After that, you guys can cut, all the editing process of that and put it as assembly order. So that means basically you put all the clips together, make sure everything's good, make sure you have the right footage is where it needs to go. This is called assembly order. So basically it goes boom, and then it makes it a movie. But after that, you have to rewatch it, you guys, to make sure it makes sense. Tip number 7 is fine cutting, which means go through the videos really good. Make sure you cut out the ums or the buts or whatever you say the most of. So if I go and then pause, then I need to cut that part out if it does make sense. Because you don't want ums and buts or anything like that. Tip number 8 is watch it again and again and again until you get that final things that you want. And that you can rewatch it over and over. And make sure it makes sense to you. If it doesn't make sense to you, cut that part out. You don't need it. Tip number 9, have a break, you guys. If you have a kid, go watch a kid. Do have a break of editing time. That's pretty simple. It's self-explanatory. Just have a break and just relax your body. And if you need to go to sleep, go to sleep. Don't burn yourself out. It can always come back the next day. Tip number 10 is working with sound. What? Sound? 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 Yeah, sound. Basically, just work with song and make sure it flows really good. Listen really closely. If it's music, turn your volume down a little bit. If it's when you're speaking, make sure your volume's good and so it's nice and quiet. Or make sure your volume, if you're talking softly, make sure you turn your volume up so it's easier to do like that. And make sure you have, if you have another layout that you have music and make sure you have yourself above the music sometimes. Sometimes people have the music way too loud, so you cannot hear me that much. It all depends on your liking, but that's what the top 10 editing tips is. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you guys do, give it a big thumbs up and tell me in the comments what you guys want me to do in the next video. Goodbye!